you can achieve more. And really, it all boils down to one powerful question. What would your life look like if you stopped just reacting to things and started living with real, deliberate intention? Well, that's what we're here to figure out. All right, so let's just get straight to the heart of it. The whole book really hangs on this one single question. Are you living your life by design, or are you living it by default? I mean, think about it. Are you the one at the helm, steering your own ship, or are you kind of just floating along, letting the currents take you wherever? This is the fundamental choice we're going to break down. Okay, so first up, let's talk about what it even means to live by default. This is the mode that, let's be honest, most of us slip into without even noticing. It's that reactive life, where you're just dealing with whatever gets thrown at you day in and day out. To really paint a picture of this, Kara tells this fantastic story, and it starts with a scene that I'm sure a lot of us can relate to, right? You've got this busy executive just buried under a mountain of work, and his little 5-year-old son keeps pestering him, just wanting to play. So the father, trying to buy himself some time, gets this what he thinks is a brilliant idea. He grabs a magazine, tears out a map of the world, rips it into a bunch of little pieces and hands it to his son. He says, "Here, go put the worlds back together and then we'll play." And you can just imagine him thinking, that'll keep him occupied for ages. But here's a kicker. A few minutes later, that's it, just a few minutes, the boy comes back with the map perfectly put together. The father is just floored. He's like, "How on earth did you do that so fast?" And the son's answer, this is the whole message of the book right here. He says, "Dad, it was easy. On the other side of the world map, there was a picture of a man. All I did was put the man together, and the world came together." Wow. Think about that. When you get yourself right on the inside, your world, the one on the outside, it just naturally falls into place. And that story, that's the perfect segue into our next big idea, the winner's mindset. This is all about that internal shift, that decision you make to stop just reacting and to start, actually designing the life you want. So Kira's argument really boils down to this one incredible number, 90%. He says life is only 10% about what happens to you. The other 90%, a massive 90%, is all about how you respond to it. And what is that response? It's your attitude. That right there is the single biggest key to whether you succeed or fail. He drives this point home with this really powerful old story. An old chief tells his grandson, "Son, there's a fight going on inside of you. It's between two wolves. One is evil, it's anger, envy, greed. The other one is good, it's joy, peace, and love." The boy thinks for a minute and asks, "Grandfather, which wolf wins?" And the chief simply replies, "The one you feed." It's a choice every single day. And this leads to another brilliant analogy that really clarifies this choice we all have. Ask yourself this: is your mind a thermometer or a thermostat? See, a thermometer, it just reflects the temperature of the room. It's passive, reactive. But a thermostat doesn't just read the temperature, it regulates it. It sets the climate. So which one are you? Are you just reflecting your environment, or are you actively controlling it? Okay, so you've decided you want that winner's mindset. You want to be the thermostat. Great. But how do you actually do that? Well, this is where we get practical. The next step is to start actively, consciously designing your life. Seriously, take a second and think about this. Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Because that future you, it isn't just going to happen by accident. It's going to be a direct result of the inputs you choose for your mind today, right now, this very minute. And the good news is, Kira makes this super practical. He boils it all down to 3 simple inputs that determine your future. That's it, just 3. Number 1, the books we read. Number 2, the shows we watch. And number 3, the company we keep. It sounds so simple, right? But it's also incredibly profound. See, when you consistently manage these inputs, the books, the shows, the people, you start to build what Kira calls a mental autopilot. Think of it like programming your own mind for success. You know how an airplane's autopilot automatically corrects the plane when it hits turbulence? It's the same idea. A mind you've conditioned with positive inputs will automatically pull you back on track whenever you start to drift off course. So what's the end result of all this? What does it actually look like when you put this into practice? Well, you start to develop the real, tangible qualities of a winner, someone who is truly living by design, not by default. And here they are, the attributes of a winner: high self-esteem, consistency, self-control and self-discipline, and, of course, passion.
But look, this isn't about one single thing you do. It's about a whole collection of traits that you build up over time with conscious daily effort. It's that deep sense of your own worth, the discipline to follow through, and the fire to keep going. And to really hammer home that point about consistency, Kara brings in this legendary quote from Bruce Lee. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Man, that's powerful. It's not about doing a million different things once in a while. Real success, real mastery, comes from that disciplined daily repetition. That's what separates the amateurs from the masters.
This next story, it just perfectly captures the tragedy of wasted potential. Imagine this. An eagle, a creature literally born to soar high above the mountains, is raised among prairie chickens. So what does it do? It spends its entire life scratching in the dirt, pecking for seeds, thinking it's a chicken. It lives and dies as a chicken, never knowing it was born to be a king of the sky. It was born to win, but conditioned to lose. So Kira asks us, are you letting your environment, your prairie chickens, condition you to lose when you were born to win? All right, and this brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. Kira argues that everything we've talked about, the winner's mindset, designing your life, all those attributes, it all has to be built on one thing, a solid, unshakable foundation of values. And he tells one last story to really drive this point home. It's about a young accountant who's offered a ton of money for a deal that's, well, it's a little questionable. He's totally torn. It's a huge payday, but his gut is telling him something's wrong. Not knowing what to do, he goes to his illiterate mother for advice. And his mother, she doesn't understand the complex finances, but she cuts right through all the noise with one simple, powerful line. She just says, "Son, all I can say is this. I would hate to come into your room one day and see you awake." Wow, it wasn't about the money, it wasn't about the risk. It was about being able to sleep at night. That clear conscience, that peace of mind, that, Kira says, is the real measure of a successful life.
And so that really leaves us with one final, powerful question to think about. It's so easy to get caught up chasing a certain lifestyle, the money, the job title, the nice things. But this whole book challenges us to go deeper. It asks us to look at the choices we're making every single day and ask ourselves, is this giving me a lifestyle or is this giving me a life?